You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the May 13th meeting of the LaPorte County Election Board special meeting. You can get more information on this meeting by going to www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right. Today is May 13th, Friday the 13th. It is 12:01. This is the meeting of the LaPorte County, Indiana Election Board. Call it to order, and we will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, start with roll call. Chuck Watterson, President here. Nelson Machado, Vice President.
Here.
Heather Stevens, Clerk and Secretary.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum. Today's purpose of the meeting is to certify the election. So we'll go through the election result. Did we read the results last time? Yeah, so we'll read the election results and the winners. And then we will vote to approve and certify the election. We'll go through the provisional ballots before that, if there are any. So as far as that goes, let's get the party started.
Okay. For provisional ballots, we had. Oh, sorry. Okay. For the provisional ballots, we had a total of 4. We did have one person who came in to show her ID. I made a copy of that. We then discovered that she had authorized the cancellation of her registration in November of 2021 and had not re-registered. So therefore, I don't believe that vote can be counted.
Agreed?
So she canceled her
Yes.
voter status
Yes.
in November,
Yes.
and then she showed up to vote on election day.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't see how we could accept that if she canceled her.
Right. And we did have, while she was here, we did have her register to vote again at her new address, and voter registration has that, and we'll enter that as soon as registration opens up.
And we've got a corresponding affidavit to cancel it?
This is, yes.
Okay. Could I see that real quick?
You can.
All right.
Did she just mean to re-register and
I
didn't?
think her
or-
intention, I think that she thought that when she was authorizing the cancellation, but on the other side, it's here's my new address. Well, you have to register at that new address. That's not an automatic.
Right.
So the status of her registration as of the 1st of November was canceled?
Canceled.
So she was not listed on the
That's
registration?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything we can do about that.
All right, so that vote will not count due to the fact that she is not a registered voter in this county, let alone at any precinct. And that problem has been rectified. You said she's since registered
Yes.
after the election?
Yes.
Okay, so she'll be good to go for the general then?
She will.
Okay.
Okay. And now you want,
We can do the provisionals and then
The
we'll go
provisionals?
through the races,
okay.
yeah.
Here are those.
Okay.
And no one else appeared with their ID.
So these are the ones that actually came back with their.
They did not.
Oh, they did not.
So we don't have any provisional ballots
None that we can
to
count.
be counted.
Oh,
So,
and just explain that, Heather, so people know.
So when you have a provisional ballot, it's normally because you did not bring your ID or you weren't in the poll book, something like that. You need to appear at the county clerk's office within 10 days after the election in order for that provisional ballot to be counted. And we do have Dan from Microvote here with us, just in case any of those do need to be counted. Dan then would have counted those votes and we would have updated our results.
and is that by noon of the 10th day?
Yes.
Okay.
And when would that have been?
Today.
Oh,
5 minutes ago.
Today's the 13th, yep. So as of now, nobody has come in to verify these provisional ballots, and I'm looking at all of them. Looks like they affidavit of challenge voter, that was filled out probably incorrectly. These two haven't come back to show their ID, and same with this one.
Yeah. And I'm looking in the crowd and I don't see anyone present to rectify these.
So these will not count as well, due to what Heather explained as far as there's a process with provisional ballots. It's kind of a fail-safe. You don't have your ID on the day of, or you're not in registration. We still allow you to fill out a ballot, but the only way they can be counted is if you verify the information that was missing the day of your casting of the provisional ballot.
And Heather, those individuals were explained this, right? That they needed to come back.
Yes, they're
and show.
explaining that at the polls.
Right.
Okay, so those will not count. So we have no provisional ballots to add. So now we can go through the list of primary winners, and I can read them off.
Good luck, because they're not highlighted.
I'll figure it out.
All right.
I can read numbers, I think.
Good deal.
All right. Let's go through the election summary report. As for the, we'll go through the Democrat primary first. United States Senator Thomas McDermott, winner. U.S. Representative District 1, Frank Mervyn, winner. U.S. District Representative District 2, Paul Sturry, unopposed, winner. State Senate District 4, Deb Chubb, winner of the LaPorte County primary. State Representative District 7, Ross Deal. State Rep District 9, Patricia Boy. Prosecuting Attorney of the 32nd Circuit, John Lake. County Sheriff, Andrew Heineck. County Assessor, Mike Schultz. County Commissioner, District 1, Sheila Brilson Matthias. County Council District 1, Mike Kellums. County Council District 2, Randy Novak. County Council District 3, Mark Ugelski. County Council District 4, Lynn Spivak. Cass Township Board, James Irwin Sr. Center Township Board, so vote for 3. Scotty Ford was the only one, so he goes through. Cool Spring Township Trustee, Lois Osinski. Cool Spring Township Board, Monica Prosser. Galena Township Trustee, Edward Heineck. Galena Township Board, vote for 3. Thomas Conway, Kim Sowers, and Mary Thomas. Hudson Township Board, Catherine Arends. Lincoln Township Trustee, Dennis Christensen. Lincoln Township Board, vote for 3. Mark Emmerich, Leo Spence, and Yolanda Spence. Michigan Township Assessor, Brent Bannock. Michigan Township Trustee, Rodney Washington. Michigan Township Board, vote for 3. Melody Farmer, George Kazmierzak, Susan Webster. New Durham Township Trustee, Philip Hannon. New Durham Township Board, Michael Coulter. Pleasant Township Board, vote for 3. 2 Ran, Edward Burek, Beck Conroy. Springfield Township Board, vote for 3. 2 Ran, Jerry Cooley, Matthew Sikorsky. Union Township Trustee, Sherry Ann Morris. Union Township Board, vote for 3. Carolyn Beatty, Dorothy Decker, Betty Evans. Washington Township Board, vote for 3. 1 Ran, Aaron Bannock. Wills Township Trustee, Joan Cusin. Wills Township Board, vote for 3. Deanna Cody, David Conley, Eli Stevens. Precinct Committeeman, Cool Spring 1, Lois Osinski. Precinct Committeeman, Kingsford Heights, Versi Jeffries. Precinct Committeeman, MCO2, Laura Henderson. Precinct Committeeman, MC4, Ted Woodard. Precinct Committeeman, MCO5, Don Briggs. Precinct Committeeman, MC10, Agnes Meir. Precinct Committeeman, MC12, Gail Nylab. Precinct Committeeman, MC13, Sean Fitzpatrick. Committeeman, MC15, Dr. Vijayakora. Precinct Committeeman, MC19, Willie Millsap. Committeeman, MC23, Angie Deutsch. Precinct Committeeman for Wills, Stanley Heineck. And now we'll move on to the Republican.
Can I say something? I did get a few questions on election day about why some of the precinct committee people and delegates for the Democrat Party were not listed on the ballot. And I do want to explain that. There is a date by which the clerk is to reach out to both party chairmen to ask if they want the unopposed for delegate and precinct people listed on the ballot. The Republicans had opposition everywhere. The Democrats did not, and party chairman, Dr. Cora, he decided he did not need those to be listed, so that is why.
Okay. So now to move on to the Republican primary, U.S. Representative District 1, Blair Milo. U.S. Representative District 2, Jackie Walorski. State Senate District 4, Jeff Larson. State Rep District 7, Jake Teschka. State Rep District 9, Dion Bergeron. State Rep District 20, Jim Pressel. Prosecuting Attorney of the 32nd Circuit, Sean Fagan. County Sheriff, Ron Heeg. County Assessor, John Matchwishin. County Commissioner District 1, Connie Grammarosa. County Council District 1, or I'm sorry, that's County Commissioner District 1, Connie Grammarosa. County Council District 1, Justin Keel. County Council District 2, Aaron Kirk. County Council District 4, Mike Rosenbaum. Cass Township Trustee, Dara Goose. Vote for 3, Cass Township Board. Oh, that's where it gets tricky, okay. Rodney Peters, Tricia Rosenbaum, and Jacqueline Tharp. Center Township Trustee, Lisa Pierzakowski. Center Township Board, vote for 3, Amy Burris, Bob Walensky, and Dwayne Miller. Clinton Township Trustee, Courtney Myers. Clinton Township Board, vote for 3, Scott Clems, Gerard Land, Michael Nix. Cool Spring Township Board, vote for 3, Clifford Wozniak, Craig Henchman, Ken Havlin. Dewey Township Trustee, Dick Uncle Nippy Bucher. Dewey Township Board, vote for 3, Paul Malecki, Dale Mice, Larry Rust. Galena Township Board, vote for 3, Richard Grammarosa, Claudia Winter. Those are the only 2 that ran. Hannah Township Trustee, Tony Wallace. Hannah Township Board, vote for 3, Adam Sweet, Tammy Rosenbaum, Mike Magley. Hudson Township Trustee, Brian Gray. Hudson Township Board, vote for 3, Austin Kosinski, Roger Teska, David Paul Rackett Wilson. Kankakee Township Trustee Stephen Lisinski Jr. Kankakee Township Board, vote for 3, Donald Stoner, Kevin Wheatbrook, Tom Wheatbrook. Lincoln Township Trustee Nancy Morgan. Lincoln Township Board, Brett Friend, only one who ran. Michigan Township Trustee Dan Granquist. Michigan Township Board, Billy BG3 Green. Robert Lonnie, David Lasciuto. New Durham Township Trustee Kelly Tanger. New Durham Township Board, vote for 3, Jim Ingram, Tom Bath, and Brian Burns. Noble Township Trustee Dave Doping. Noble Township Board, vote for 3, Brad Harden, James Lindborg, Glenn Schlunt. Pleasant Township Trustee Joyce Ziegler. Pleasant Township Board, vote for 3, Robert Ulrich II, Brett James Park, Susan McLean. Prairie Township Trustee Robert Younggreen. Prairie Township Board, vote for 3, Shonda Nelson and Sherry Younggreen, tied. They both go through. Scipio Township Trustee Kaylin Ludlow Deckard. Scipio Township Board, vote for 3, Walter Conlon Jr., Carl Harvey, Paul Lindeman. Springfield Township Trustee Howard Conley. Springfield Township Board, vote for 3, Eileen Moonzona, Philip Sherlock, only 2 that ran. Union Township Board, vote for 3, Coral Lawn, Cassie Lipscomb, Rudy Netzger. Washington Township Trustee Charles Watterson III, not me. Vote for 3, Washington Township Board, Scott Eftowski, only one who ran. Vote for 3, Wills Township Board, Barry Halter, Bobby Maish, Jordan Smith. State, oh, this is going to be interesting. Okay. State conventional delegates.
Yeah, that last one is
2
tough.
seconds.
No, it's going to be more than that.
No, it's not bad.
She's already seen these.
I've seen this.
Yeah.
Lost my first election, Nelson. You got 16? Alright, that was quick. State Congressional or Convention of Delegates District 1, Michael Beebe, Elizabeth Bergeron, Michael Bohachik, Mitch Ficus, Michael Gonder, Connie Grammarosa, Carol Granquist, Dan Granquist, Aaron Kirk, Bonnie Miller, Dwayne Miller, Nathan Patrick, Lisa Pierzakowski, Larry Pinkerton, Mike Rosenbaum, Timothy Stavos. State Congressional Delegate District 2, Richie Grammarosa, Christine Hunsley, Andrew Keene, Heather Oak, Brett James Parks, Ron Schaefer, Suzanne Schaefer, Heather Stevens, and Alan Stevens. So that concludes the reading of all the winners of the primary. Do I have a motion to certify?
I'd move that we certified those names and report that you just read, Mr. Watterson.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, these have been certified, and is there a form we got to fill out?
Not yet, I have to do it in SVRS.
Gotcha.
And just so that the public knows, all of that and that report is on our county website.
Yes.
Correct. So now that that's done, we'll move on to,
Find out how many certificates of error we had from voter registration, just to read into the minutes.
sure, voter registration.
Do you know how many certificates of error? 14.
Do you want to explain that?
A certificate of error is, I know there was an instance where somebody called in because someone wasn't in the poll book, and then I pulled that voter up and it had them listed as deceased when that in fact was not the case. So that can happen, and it does. So any type of error that was not the error of the voter, then we fill out a form, that voter still votes on the machine. So that's what that's about.
There was 14 of those? You said?
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be included in the minutes for next meeting.
Yes.
All right. So we'll move on to the one piece of new business we have is a resolution that was drafted just as far as people requesting reports from the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office. I will do a reading of the resolution that we have, and I think what we should do is probably open that up to public comment at the next meeting and then vote on it.
That's fine.
Since this hasn't been posted or anything. We'll post it after this meeting. So if anyone wants to comment on it, you can come to the next meeting, comment, and then we'll vote on it. So the LaPorte County, Indiana Election Board Resolution Number 2022-01. Whereas the LaPorte County Election Board is charged with the responsibility of conducting elections in LaPorte County, and whereas Indiana Code Section 37276C states that the County Voter Registration Office shall, with regard to voter registration information concerning voters of the county on a computerized system, act in accordance with the non-discriminatory uniform policy adopted by the County Election Board. And whereas Indiana Code further states that such policy must either permit a person to duplicate or obtain a duplicate copy of this electronically stored voter registration information, to not permit the person to duplicate or obtain a duplicate copy of the electronically stored information. And whereas the LaPorte County Election Board believes that there exist important concerns with requiring voter registration to potentially risk harming the personal privacy and personal security of registered voters in LaPorte County, and whereas LaPorte County Election Board also, however, believes that there are countervailing concerns that counsel in favor of permitting disclosure of otherwise available voter registration information in a convenient manner from a local public agency that has limited jurisdiction over this information, such as the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office. And whereas Indiana Code permits Indiana Election Division to provide parts and reports from the voter registration information from the computerized statewide voter registration list to all persons, so long as those parts and reports do not include the following information with respect to registered voters: A, social security number; B, date of birth; C, gender; D, telephone number or email address; E, voting history; F, voter identification number or another unique field established to identify that voter's identification; and G, the the date of registration of the voter. And whereas Indiana Code permits the Indiana Election Division to provide parts or reports from the voter registration information from the computerized statewide voter registration list concerning the information other than the list of registered voters, and whereas Indiana Code restricts the use of compilation of information received from the Indiana Election Division under Indiana Code 3726.4-1 to non-commercial political uses. And now therefore be it resolved by the LaPorte County Election Board as follows. The Election Board declares and adopts the policy that pursuant to Indiana Code 3-7-26.4-6C, a person or entity, regardless of identity, class, or status, may obtain from voter registration certain information, parts and reports, or compilations thereof of the Indiana Statewide Voter Registration System, or SVRS for short, with respect to registered voters of LaPorte County, Indiana, as follows. LaPorte County Voter Registration Office shall provide information from SVRS to an individual to permit the individual to confirm the voter registration status of the individual and the location of the polling place of the individual's precinct. B, the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office may provide parts and reports from SVRS concerning voter registration information other than list of registered voters. C, after a person or entity files a request with LaPorte County Voter Registration Office for electronically stored voter information, the Voter Registration Office shall provide a compilation of the voter registration information from SVRS to the person or entity regardless of identity, classification, or status, so long as those parts and reports do not include the following information with respect to the voters: Social Security number or any part thereof, date of birth, gender, telephone number or email address, voting history, a voter identification number or another unique field established to identify that voter, or the date of registration of the voter. Notwithstanding paragraph 1C above, the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office may provide information without redaction of these items to the LaPorte County Election Board upon request. The LaPorte County Election Board may not use any compilation of voter registration information received from the Voter Registration Office for any purpose other than the administration of elections in LaPorte County, and may not under any circumstance distribute or release any compilation of voter registration information received from LaPorte County Voter Registration Office from SVRS to any other person or identity. A request submitted to the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office for electronic information from SVRS must be on the state-prescribed form VRG-24 in form of an original wet ink signature. No scans of requests will be accepted. In responding to a request for electronically stored voter registration information from SVRS, the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office shall provide compilations in PDF format. A person or entity who receives electronically stored voter registration information from the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office may not use the information for commercial purposes, including to sell, advertise, or solicit the purchase of merchandise, goods, or services, or sell, loan, giveaway, or otherwise deliver the information obtained by the request to any other person for these purposes. Use of such information received from the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office in connection with the preparation or publication of information in a manner contrary to this policy may be prohibited from the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office from obtaining a copy or any further data from the LaPorte County Registration Office. This policy of the LaPorte County Election Board is intended to address only public records requests addressed to the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office for electronically stored information, data, or parts, reports, or compilations thereof extracted from the SVRS system, on demand concerning registered voters of LaPorte County as maintained and accessible by the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office, only to the extent contemplated by Indiana Code. This policy expressly does not affect or address any of their obligations, requirements, or powers of the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office as provided pursuant to the Indiana Election Code or any other law of the state of Indiana or United States. This policy is not intended to address other public records requests addressed to the LaPorte County Voter Registration Office under Indiana Code 5-14-3-1. So this will be posted for everyone to view on the county website. And then at the next meeting, we will have a public comment period, and then we will discuss it as well before we vote for it.
We can hold off on that until the next meeting if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. Or no, we'll just confirm them now. We're going to move around a little bit to old business of just the meeting minutes. I have a copy of the April 20th, 2022 election board meeting minutes. And I've gone through it. I'm assuming you went through it, Heather?
I did.
So once Nelson has an opportunity to review the minutes, I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes from our April 20th, 2022 meeting.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those minutes are approved.
Thank you.
Now we have no further business to address. We can open up the floor for public comment if anyone has any. Any public comment? No? Okay, we'll open it up to board member comments. We can start with whoever wants to go.
I'll start.
All right.
Just wanted to address some concerns regarding the release of the election results from our previous election. You know, as many of you know, we made a bipartisan decision to wait until we received all the votes to release any reports. Many folks were not happy about that decision, but I'm here to tell you that I stand firm by our decision. We wanted to avoid any mishaps or issues with providing wrong information, as was the case in 2020, when results were released in batches and the reports were wrong. Although all of those issues were corrected and our third-party vendor Microvote explained those issues, we wanted to fully avoid anything like that from happening again. So that played a significant role in our decision. And I just wanted to express that to the public, anyone that's watching or hearing. We felt that the sure way to do that, to avoid any issues, was to wait until the end to release any unofficial reports. I will concede that we should have informed the media that we planned on releasing results. And we certainly will look to that in the fall. So it's something that we'll discuss and decide on in the future. But I really want folks to understand that the process in tallying votes, it's not a quick and easy process. We have to retrieve hundreds of machines from across the county, which, by the way, LaPorte County is the largest county in the state by land area. So it's not something that you just drive around the corner and we're here at the at the courthouse ready to take those machines. Polls close at 6 p.m. It takes some precincts close to 35 minutes to get back to the courthouse to turn all of those machines in and all of their materials. It's quite the process. When we have all of those machines, then we have the opportunity to tally those with our vendor microvote. It takes time, and it's a delicate process where many hands are working together, and we have to pay close attention to what we're doing so that mistakes don't happen. You know, it's easy for folks that aren't involved in the process to suggest, oh, well, why can't we have it right away as soon as the polls close? It just does not work that way, and the public needs to understand that and be reasonable. So those are the comments I wanted to make regarding that. I hope people understand the fact that we want to give accurate information in a reasonable amount of time instead of rushed partial results that could potentially have errors. In a time when so many people question election results and believe in these half-cocked conspiracies, we want to ensure that the reports that we give out, that they're correct and accurate. Lastly, I just wanted to thank all of our volunteers and poll workers. Thank you for the dedication and for all the hard work that you guys put in. Without you guys, it wouldn't work. You are an essential part of this, and we hope to have your help again in the fall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh boy. It was definitely a learning experience. We had a lot of new equipment this year, and I think for the most part things went very well, maybe other than the uh-oh moment the night before. But thanks to our amazing poll workers and the great team that we have put together for elections, everything turned out really well. So thanks to all of them. I'm doing something a little bit different this year. Today at 4:00, we are having a meeting of the poll workers, kind of an after meeting, because all day long during elections, we're at the courthouse. We're not out there. We don't know what we're not there to see. So this, I think, is a good opportunity for us to get some feedback. What's working well, what's not, where can we make improvements, things like that. And I think especially with the new equipment, I think it's important to get some of that. So
Good.
I think I'm good.
All right. And just to clarify, the uh-oh moment the night before had to do with the poll books
Yeah.
and just having the voter information in them, which we scrambled to rectify. So it wasn't an uh-oh moment that anyone needs to question. It was something we just had to get done, and we got it done. So as far as the elephant in the room the night of, and I've heard many comments about it, about releasing the voter or the primary results after it was finished. I stand by my decision on that, and I'll tell you right now, it was me and Nelson wanted to wait until the end. Heather wanted to release them individually, so that way there's no more chatter behind anyone's backs or in the paper of, oh, who did this, who did that. It was me and Nelson. We made that decision. We stand by it. So I understand the people's frustration on waiting for the results, or I do now. Personally, I did not know of a long-standing tradition that results were released, in piecemeal. I wasn't aware of that. Now I understand it, so I get the people's frustration, but ultimately I think the frustration was let out in a way that would somehow accuse, and I've seen posts and things about it, about how delaying these results was somehow nefarious. The only reason we delayed the results was so you guys could have accurate information and results. Now I know of this long-standing, you got people having parties, they want to see the results come in and out. Had we done that the night of, it would have been a disaster, because we would have had to stop, have, our one person working at Microvote print these reports, and that would virtually stop the counting process just so we could print a report and give you these primary results, which 16% of the county showed up for, in piecemeal increments. Now, for the general election, I understand the tradition, and now, and we'll do everything we can to release the results as tradition has allowed, or shown. So as far as that tradition and people waiting and having these parties and, with all this anxiety of the unknown, I completely get that. That's on me. Didn't know about it. But that, I don't know if that would have affected my decision that night. Based on the previous primary that we went through, that I was appointed to handle. So I was given this problem to handle as soon as I came on. I didn't want to repeat that again. So that decision that night, that's what I stand by. And I'd do it again. Ultimately, yeah, we should have let somebody know, but here's a little behind the scenes information. We made that decision when the polls were closing. So we couldn't have given any advance information. I understand that the media, has all these things planned and, it gives them something to talk about. But that's the decision that we made. So at the time we made the decision also, we anticipated the results coming out relatively quickly. There were some issues with unused machines. Just to be completely transparent, we sent out a lot of machines. People that have worked at the precincts for 20, 30, 40 years decided we don't need that many machines, and who are we to tell them? They know their precincts better than we do. But to be transparent, we need to test each and every one of those machines that they said were unused to make sure there were 0 votes on them, which is a process when there's over 300 machines coming back. We have to locate them individually to make sure we're accounting for them. So for the general election, obviously we expect a bigger turnout. We're going to send out the amount of machines we think is appropriate, but I think for the primary we are learning, we probably don't need to send as many out. So for the general, it should be a bigger process. Those machines should be used, and we'll know we're just counting the machines as they come in. None of them were unused. And I say that in quotes because we have to assume that they were used, so we tally them to show that they were 0. So the thought that we were hiding anything, that I've heard people say from uninformed people with the election process, I challenge them to do what we do. Come check out the election process behind the scenes. There's a lot more that goes into it than scanning votes and saying, okay, here's your winners, here's your reports every hour on the hour. That thought that we would do something like that affected me to the core for a few days, and it still affects me today, because that's something I'm a person of integrity. I don't agree with hiding election results or portraying this image that elections are stolen. And I don't know what goes on in other counties, but that's not happening here. And that's why we're transparent with everything. And I understand withholding results to the end doesn't really scream transparency, but it screams accuracy. And that's what we were looking for. You'll notice the totals we have today. We don't have any errors or big things to report that went down during the election other than what I've explained. And we did that because we wanted to make sure everything was right. And that's why you're not seeing any of these errors. So there's a good side and a bad side. I understand people want their results, and I understand I'm getting long-winded here, but it's for a reason. I feel it was personal to me. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about the process and who made the decision and all this stuff. Not one of those people, not one, has reached out to me personally, or Nelson, from what I know. Heather, I don't know if you have anyone reached out to you, because I know you went to the commissioners meeting. A lot of people had a lot to say. I'm not a hard person to find. I'm very recognizable. I'm here all the time. Come talk to me if you want to hear what actually happened behind the scenes. Don't start accusing us of hiding things or doing things wrong when you don't have all the information. We made the decision for LaPorte County, and we have since I came on the board, since Nelson's on the board, since Heather was elected. We've done everything we can to assure fair elections are administered in this county. So again, if anyone has any questions in the future, or even about this past thing, come talk to me, Nelson, or Heather. We'll let you know what is happening. But as of today, no one's talked to me. And again, we're not hard to find. We're here. So I want to thank all the volunteers and poll workers and the people in voter registration, our A team, and the clerk's office that helped with the election. It was a long couple of days, long couple of weeks leading up, and we're excited to do it again in November. And hopefully we don't keep you waiting this time. And Any other comments?
I did want to make one, Chuck. You know, when you were speaking about some of those things, it just reminded me. You know, it's easy for these, Monday morning quarterbacks to sit back and, suggest this is what should have been done. This is how you should do it. You know, if you have those ideas, bring them to us or volunteer. You know, it's easy to sit back and make accusations and, think that this is how it should happen. But, a lot of those people have no clue on how the process works. Sure, I understand that there's a tradition, but things change, right? And we want to make sure that it's still accurate and, it's still given at an appropriate amount of time. But again, those folks, and I'm right there with you. No one has contacted me regarding, any issues, and I'm happy to talk to anyone as well. But again, if you have ideas, if you have concerns, bring them to us. There's not anyone here ready to make public comment regarding what happened. None. So, that's a little concerning. You have all these accusations and all these ideas and all, they want to say and talk about it, but they're not here today to address it. And, I just want to make that last comment. If you have something like that, bring it forth. We are open. We want to make things better for everyone. And, I'll leave it at that. For the general, if you want to see something different, let us know. Happy to entertain it.
Our county IT director, Darlene Hale, just brought up a really good point. Not only were the results not released, we didn't know. We were literally, we took the results, we went directly to the printer in the clerk's office. I put the results in, and as soon as I printed the first copy, these guys grabbed it, took off to come over here to talk to Access LaPorte County. I literally, I know my husband was very interested. He had the Civic full of people, wanted to know. And I was literally reading the results as I was pulling them off the printer. So it wasn't like we knew something that other people didn't. We didn't know either.
And it was still 3.5 hours after polls closed. So
yeah.
Not too shabby. Any other comments?
No, not for me. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Second. All right. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. Adjourned.